Hello, it's Sonia here, The Pretty Stitch. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time joining me, I'm so happy to have you here. So today we are going to be making a scarf, and we're going to be making a Tunisian crochet scarf. So to do this, you will need a Tunisian hook with some type of cord on it. And I am using a J hook or 6mm hook here to do this, and you will need two different colors. So I am using this purple. It looks more blue, but it's actually purple, and this cream colored for this scarf. And the yarn that I am using is, I actually have the tag, Briggs and Little Heritage. I love this yarn. I've used it quite a bit. It's 100% wool, and I think it's going to look really nice with this particular project. And we are going to be doing some short rows, and I think it's just going to be a really pretty scarf here. Okay, so what you're going to need to do, it's going to be a long scarf. I like long scarves, that's a thing, because you want to wrap it around your neck more than once, right? So you're going to need to chain. So what I did, I've already worked my first row, is I marked like every 25 chains, I put a stitch marker to help me keep track of how many chains, because that's a lot to count. So I've already went ahead and worked row 1, so I'm going to use the cream color as my main color. And you're just going to work in the back bump of the chain. I will show a clip on how to do that. Okay, so let's work row 1. So row 1 is our setup row, and we're going to work in the back bump of the chain in the second chain from our hook, and we're going to pull up loops. So this is my preferred method of how I like to get started, of how I like to work in a chain with Tunisian crochet. And if you've never done Tunisian crochet, I do have a complete playlist. So what we're doing is we're just pulling up loops and we're leaving them on our hook. Tunisian crochet is worked in 2 parts. Each row is 2 parts. The first part of the row is the forward pass, which we're doing right now. We are putting our stitches on our hook. In the second part of the row, we will be taking the stitches off of our hook, which is the return pass, and each part equals 1 row. Alright, so there we go. We have our loops on our hook. We are going to work these off. So if you've never done this before, I do have a complete playlist. I'll leave a link in the description box to help you get started. So what we are doing is we're yarning over, we're pulling through 1 loop, which I already did, and now we're yarning over and pulling through 2 for the rest of the row. Alright, so there is row 1. So each color we're going to be working twice. So I am working, so you're going to be alternating and carrying your colors up the side. So I'm going to alternate cream, purple, and as I said before, each color you work twice. So for row 2, you're going to work a Tunisian purl row. So if you don't know how to do the basic Tunisian stitches, I do have a playlist that goes over the basics to get you started. And I'll place that link in the description box, and I also have other Tunisian crochet patterns as well. So again, this is row 2. We are just working Tunisian purl all the way across. And then you will work your return pass. So Tunisian crochet is always worked in 2 parts. You have your forward pass where you're putting your stitches on your hook, and then your return pass where you take them off. So I am going to work my forward pass and return pass, and then I will meet you back. Okay, so I have finished up row 2. So what we're going to do is we are going to, I didn't finish my last stitch, so I left my last 2 loops on my hook on my return pass because I am taking my other color and we're going to change colors. So you just drape it on your hook and pull it through. And now we are ready for row 3, I'm sorry. And we're not going to cut this color. So we're going to carry our colors up. So for row 3 with our second color, I'm going to work Tunisian simple stitch. And that's in the playlist. And we're going to work so you're just going to be pulling up loops. Alright, so I have my 90 loops on here with my second color. So when we're going to work these rounds, so these are the short these rows, either the short rows, we are just going to yarn over and pull through 2 instead of yarning over and pulling through 1. So we're yarning over, pulling through 2. See how the yarn got twisted. That was weird. All the way across. So then our 4th row, we are going to be working Tunisian purl with this same color, and we're going to work to this stitch. Okay, so I am continuing down. We have 2 vertical bars left. So here is one right here. Here is another. So this is stitch 73, this is 74. So we're going to have 74 loops on our hook all together. So what you want to do is when you get to the second to the last, you're going to work a purl. And then in this last stitch, so this is 74, we're going to work regular Tunisian simple. It just, when doing the next row, it just works out better. So that's why we're doing it. So whenever you're doing a short row in purl stitch, your last stitch will always be Tunisian simple. Okay, so now we work our return pass just like we did for row 3. You're going to yarn over, pull through 2 right off the bat. And then I'm going to switch to my other color. Okay, so I'm at my last 2 stitches. I'm going to pick up my original color and pull through. And now we're ready to work with our second color. So the carries are not too bad on the other side when you see them. Okay, so we are ready for row 5. So row 5 with our main color, we're going to pull up loops until we have 35 on our hook. And we are working in Tunisian simple. All right, so we've got 35 loops on our hook. We're going to do our return pass like we normally do. So row 6 is going to be similar to row 4. So we're going to pull up 33 loops in Tunisian purl, and then in that 34th loop, so in loop 34, you're going to work Tunisian simple, and then you're going to work your return pass and switch back to the second color, the purple. So I'm going to go do that, and I will meet you back. So now we're going to work row 7. So row 7, we're back to our second color, and we're going to pull up loops until we have 125. Because you're probably wondering, when are we going to get to the other part of the scarf? All right, so I'm going to keep going and pull up 125 loops, and then I'm going to work my return pass where we yarn over and pull through 2 right from the start. So I will meet you back. All right, so we are at this section. So you can see my next loop here. So we're just still working Tunisian simple. And now we have to get from here down to here. So you're like, how do I do that? All right, so when you look at it here, you're going to see this vertical bar right here. So we're going to work in this one. Still working Tunisian simple. So now we have to go from here to here. So again, we're going to look down. So we have this one. So it's this one right here is where we need to go next. And we just keep going across. And then we'll eventually get over here. And you're going to do the same thing. So when you get down here, so here is our vertical bar, and then here is the next one right here, and then the next one is right here, and then you just keep going until you have 125 loops on your hook. Alright, I'm finishing up row 8, my purl row. I'm going to switch back to my main color. So row 9, what we're going to do is we actually are going to work the entire row. We're going to work 250 stitches for row 9, and then row 10 is the purl row, again 250 stitches. So when you do your return pass, you are going to do a normal traditional one where you're going to yarn over, pull through 1, and then yarn over, pull through 2, because we will be at the end of the row. So I'm going to keep going here, and I will meet you back at the end of row 10. Okay, so I'm still on row 9 here, even though it doesn't look like it. I'm at the end here, so you just want to make sure you work in that stitch that looks like a chain. I've got my 250 loops, so we're going to yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. And then row 10, you're going to work a purl row and then do your return pass the same as row 9. So to do the bind off, which is just finishing off your project or your swatch or whatever you're making so it looks its best in Tunisian crochet, We are just going to bind off in Tunisian simple all the way across. So in that first vertical bar, working this simple stitch. And if you're unfamiliar with binding off, again, I do go over that in the playlist. And we don't want to forget that last one that likes to hide, and then working on that stitch, it looks like a chain, and there we go.